Greetings all, welcome back to my Let's Learn series. And before we really go any further into this episode, now it's about the time that I should be flashing a big warning and neon sign lights and all that. So warning, warning, warning. At this point in the series for this character, he's reached a point where he's level 24. Level 24 is a very special level, as sort of stated at the end of the last episode. And you want to be very careful when you hit level 24. On the world map, kind of like with the Assassin Lord, there's a event that can trigger, and this event leads to an alternate dungeon that you have a choice to either enter or not. And if you enter it, then you enter it, and if you don't, you never get a chance to enter it in your run. It's a very difficult dungeon, and in many ways, I would say you should opt for avoiding the dungeon and not entering it, or you should only enter it if you're very sure that your character is very strong enough to, deal with whatever is in there. So, just, throwing that out there, we're about to enter a very difficult dungeon. And it's very likely I'm about to die. I will say that right now. I'm likely going to get myself killed by entering this dungeon. It was so dangerous. So, without further ado, let's go try and enter the dungeon. We're just going to randomly run around until we get the event. Whee! I'm randomly running around. Alright. You find an entrance to an old crypt. An aura of terrible evil emanates from this place. You feel threatened just standing there. You hear the muffled cries of a woman coming from inside. So you have two options. If you leave carefully, you will never enter this dungeon. If you enter the crypt, you enter it. So I recommend you actually hit leave carefully, but for demonstrative purposes and why this dungeon is difficult, we're going to enter it and get ourselves killed. Alright, so you hear an eerie chanting echoing from a distance. So, this dungeon, as you enter, you notice the door has no visible hand on the inside. You are stuck here. This is a one-way in, no way out type of dungeon. You are basically going to be dealing with Reloran type of elves, so these guys are Shalor elves. And you know what that means? These guys are going to be spellcasters of some sort. Though, we lucked out in that we've only got 4 guys here, and they're all melee-based elven warriors. So, that's kind of good. We have the return of the mean-looking elven guard, so pretty much he's just the same as last time. Of course, now he has a few more talents on top of him. He'll have access to Timeless, Secrets of the Eternals, Magic of the Eternals, Combat Accuracy, Block, Bleeding Edge. So this is going to be a very tough all-around guy right now. I'll note that Timeless, Secrets of the Eternals, and Magic of the Eternals, these are all Shaloran racial talents, and these are only available to the Shaloran race, so these guys are, they're Shalor, so they get access to these talents. These talents are actually very dangerous on high-level elves, and Magic of the Eternals, what this does is it basically increases critical chance by 10%, so this guy has a 10% automatically of critically me. He also has critical strike power of 25%, so whenever he criticals me, he does 25% more damage on his criticals. So, very dangerous right there. Secret of the Eternals, basically what this does, it basically has a very long cooldown, but every so often, if you hit this guy hard enough, he will have a chance of becoming invisible. You cannot see him when he becomes invisible, unless you have ability to see invisible guys, such as with Piercing Sight, which is a good reason I'm raising this now, because these guys are going to go invisible quite a bit as I hit them. I'll note, by the way, there's also the Elven Warriors down here. They're basically more advanced elves. These guys are basically They have access to runes. They have the racials, much like the other all the guys in here will do. And then they've also got access to stuff like shield pummels. So these guys can also stun me. This guy here, he's got no stun talents. He's just going to be a generic guard. He has Bleeding Edge, which basically lets him lash at the target and basically try and bleed me for a little bit and have my healing damage. But he's not too dangerous. These are also the weaker melee type of guys in here as well. There'll be stronger guys in here eventually. Okay, we're going to dirty fighting this guy initially. And luckily we got Armor Corrode on him. I'm going to drop... If I drop this here, I basically hit him there. That's good right there. We're going to drop our firewall right here. I'm going to drop this right here. Note that this guy went invisible, so that's the... yeah, I'll basically just go here. So message log. The mean elven guardian vanishes from sight. He deactivates Secrets of Eternals. So how Secret of Eternals works, if you're playing a Shoreline character, by the way, it's basically a sustain. And when you activate the sustain, you have a chance, 21% chance, whatever, of becoming invisible and you get hit. So this guy, once his, he gets hit, his sustain turns off, and as a result, he's invisible, and he can't use his racial for a time from now. I should probably go after this guy some more, so we're going to try and kill him. I'll note that this guy, one of these guys, I think this guy right here hit me with bleeding edge, so we took a little bit of hit there. We're just going to do this now. And we'll get rid of bleeding edge with primal infusion. Ooh, excuse me there. We'll kill this guy. So these guys burned up a little bit. They took a little bit of damage as a result. I'm going to use sweep on this guy, so we hit them both. We'll basically melee him to death, and then we're just going to melee this guy to death. So this was actually a blessing. Dark Crypt, how it works. We're just going to basically explore the first level here, and hey, look at that. Here's the Tempest again. You should know what he's all about. Now with, Secrets of the Eternals and all the other racials. So he's dead. We're just going to explore this level, basically give you a layout. Alright, so here's the Elven Blood Mage. This is a more advanced spellcaster type of Shaloran enemy you can fight. Blood Mages are kind of dangerous. They have access to Blight type talents, and basically what happens, this guy can like throw his blood at you, I guess, so to speak, and injure it with you. And he does a lot of Blight damage. Now luckily, because I'm a Floran elf, I do have access to Guardian Wood here, which will actually reduce Blight damage due to my Blight resistance, on top of the all resistance. And this guy as well, he also uses diseases, so that's going to help as well. So we're greatly going to be able to deal with this guy. But he's still going to do a little bit of damage, and it's going to be notable enough that I have to, be sort of careful with it. He's also in a big room in here, so I sort of have to, play very carefully with him. And yeah, he's just basically just heckling me at range for there a little bit. Also, it looks like the Elven Guard, the original Elven Guard that sort of, was in the older Reloran camp has popped up. This guy has Shield Pummel, so he can stun me. He has Block. He has all the other nice stuff in here. It's nothing really notable, but it's notable enough. We're basically going to let these guys just, keep advancing on. So we'll drop this here. Maybe we'll drop the rock here on this guy. I'll note that with the rock here, it does knockback. And what will happen is these guys will sometimes get knocked back as a result of me hitting with the rock. Because this guy was here, he only got knocked back into him, so he's still into fire, so he's going to burn a little bit more. So that's sort of the reason I used it there. And I'm going to use this. Okay, I can't hit him with that, so we're just going to wait. Alright, so looks like we can see his blood grasp. There's actually a second Elven Blood Mage up here, so that's kind of scary. We really wanted to back off here. Let these guys sort of come to us. We're just going to rest up a little bit, let this guy succumb. So here he is. We're just going to rush him. And one of these guys decided to use their Acid Wave Rune on me, so I'm disarmed, so let's get rid of that. We're going to eliminate him. This guy used the sort of AoE, I think, right there. We're just going to Shadow Step him, kill him. So that's all dealt with. We found a quiver, artifact quiver. A couple more guys. I'll note, by the way, that you'll see this activates Secrets of the Eternals. These guys are basically turning on to sustains. So this guy, he hasn't got Secrets of the Eternals on. He has the talent, but until he actually turns it on, he can't become invisible. So that's kind of cool. I'll note that invisibility is not exactly a great thing. What it does, by the way, these guys are from Fearscape, the faction. What it does, when you basically hit someone with invisibility, or if you go invisible yourself, here, let's go to my talent here. I actually have an invisible talent. Invisibility. So the caster fades from sight, and you basically get a bonus to invisibility. But here's the thing. As you become invisible, you fade out of phase from reality, and all your damage is reduced. So when these guys go invisible, they're actually losing damage as a result of being invisible. Now, there is ways to combat that sort of loss. There's actually a prodigy. I'll note that basically if you go here to prodigies, and we look at, this is all stuff we'll basically look at once we get level 30, but just a little bit of foresight on some of the stuff in here. There's a talent, your prodigy called Tricks of the Trade. Basically, these prodigies require you have like certain prerequisites for a lot of them. So these will require be level 30, have 50 dexterity, and require certain stuff. The one over here, Tricks of the Trade, it requires 50 cunning, requires you to be level 30 force for your first prodigy, and you have side with the Assassin Lord. So back in, like, you know, one of the earlier episodes where we fought that Assassin Lord guy, if I had sided with him, I could be eligible for his prodigy, Tricks of Trade. And this prodigy actually lets you get a sort of bonus where you basically have your damage penalty from being invisible permanently halved. So this prodigy here would cause the invisibility talent to basically only reduce my damage by 35%, which would be very good because invisibility basically makes you invisible. And you know what that means, you're basically invisible. Alright, so that's done. We're just going to kill these guys, or try to. Heal up a little bit. By the way, this guy used the lightning rune on me, so he's just going back and forth, and he's dead. Hey, look at that! We found a healing infusion. And this is a notable healing infusion. This has a cooldown of 8, and actually heals me quite a bit. So you know what? We're actually going to make use of this immediately. We're going to put this over our primal infusion that I don't really care too much about it. This is a whole lot better than the primal infusion, I think. We'll put that on, and then now we have access to this basically healing infusion. This will basically heal me instantly for a good chunk of health, and it also removes poison statuses, which aren't really that important, but they can be. And hello! So, it's worth knowing that this is part of the reason that Dark Crypt can be kind of dangerous. This is a very small dungeon, if you haven't really noticed already. We're basically gone, like, room over here, there's going to be a room over there. Because this is a small dungeon, and because there's quite a few mobs, you have a high chance of sometimes finding all the mobs in a certain place. Sometimes that can be around a stair, in this case it's the downstairs, not the upstairs, but I'll note that this is a very sort of dangerous instance. We basically have 1, 2 free spellcasters, and then we have these free melee guys, and there's also black stuff around here, so there's a good chance there's other guys in here as well. In this sort of instance, I'm going to basically run away. Over to here, at least. So, disengage. And we're going to throw a rock to say hello. That'll say hi to him, and it'll basically I'll say, hey! Kill him! And someone apparently used their timeless ability. Whatever. Alright, so we're just going to let these guys get on top of us. Note that this guy's sort of injured. These guys are casting spells a whole lot, just trying, they'll fire at your last position that they know that you were sometimes, and in this case they're firing it here. I noticed a lot of spellcasters here, so this is a very good instance to sort of tell you why it's very dangerous to sort of peek around a corner when there's a bunch of spellcasters there. So we're going to use this, this, and this all at once. And then we're going to step here and get, whammed in the face really hard. Or not. Well, basically, you'll see there's these guys here. They're all lined up. And what could happen here? These guys could blast me. This guy could blast me. This guy could blast me. And do a whole lot of damage if they want to. And I think we killed that guy there. I'll notice, by the way, that we got hit by something called shock. So, target is reeling from lightning shock, having a stun and pinning resistance. So this guy, he shocked me, and I've basically lost some stunning immunity as a result. This guy's shield pummel will be a whole lot more effective as a result, so I have to watch for that. If I actually go to my character screen and go to defense, so I basically only have 13 stun resistance. I have more than that, that amount of stun resistance if you actually look at it. So that gives me, as you can see, 26%. So what this is doing, this little debuff here, is actually reducing my 26 here to 13. And if I had more items, then I'd have higher stun resistance, but since I don't, then, whatever. So this guy's kind of potentially dangerous. We're going to try and do dirty fighting on him. And just, rip through him. We're almost done with shock, so we don't worry about it. This guy came, so we're just going to pop him. Know that, yeah, they can hurt you quite a bit. But not really too worried, because I basically had a healing fusion and a healing light, by the way. Put those right there, I guess. Okay, so now our guy's coming. We're just gonna, let's drop this on him. Maybe we'll hit him with a rock. And there's still guys in there, apparently. We're just gonna do that. We'll activate this and this. We'll rush this guy, kill him. Alright, so that's it for, well, it's not this it for some, much like any other dungeon, you have to walk for, disconnected rooms. Alright, here's the Elven Corruptor. So we've run into our first elite guy in here. This is the elite spellcaster for, the Ruloran type of mages, or in this case, Soloran spellcasters. Elven Corruptors are kind of dangerous. They basically have bone shields, as you can see. This guy's got 2 bone shields running around him, so I have to go through those, but that doesn't really not an issue with my character because I hit so damn hard, and so damn much, and it's a single attack. This guy has, much like the other guys, Shalloran type talents. Almost always they'll have these. And they'll also have like a ruin. This guy's a shielding ruin. Now, you want to watch out for these guys because they have a whole bunch of talents that can attack you. They can attack you with. They basically have blood grass, blood spray. They have bone spear here. So this guy can do a whole lot of damage to me. And he's also got Soul Rod here as well. So what we want to do with this guy, we're just going to drop this right on him. He fired a Bone Spear at me and did physical damage, so that's his pure physical damage on me. We're going to drop maybe this. Can I get this in a way so I can hit him? I was just there. He went invisible there. He used his blood wave type of talent there on me. He put disease on me, so yeah, there's diseases from these guys. They sometimes do that. He's lost his bone shield because he's taking so many hits, so you know that's done. Let's maybe drop. We're not going to use Rune of Rift because this will put him out of time. Also, note by the way that what you really want to do with the Rune of Rift, I'll note that these guys, they have high spell save. Using the Rune of Rift will not really work a lot on guys that have higher spell saves. And the farther you get into this game, the more unreliable the Rune of Rift becomes. This is part of the reason I really don't like the Rune of Rift, because eventually it's going to become unreliable compared to other runes and stuff or inscriptions I can just be using. Actually, just use it maybe. So this guy, he got hit, but he didn't get hit by the 4-turn debuff type of thing. So this guy resisted that ability, and as a result, he didn't get debuffed. So he looks a pale around the edges, and basically I hit him for the damage, but I didn't phase him out of existence for 4 turns. So we're just gonna step here. Note that the damage from the disease is going off constantly here, because that's how diseases work. I think he actually died. And here's an Elven Cultist. This guy's probably even more dangerous than the Elven Corruptor, even though he's a normal enemy. This guy, the Elven Cultist, what he has for talents, one you really have to watch out for is something called Dark Portal. And this is a very special ability that he has. He can basically open a dark portal and basically cause you to be inflicted with disease, and he can teleport you and himself around, which is very dangerous. In this game, anything that teleports you is usually the most dangerous thing that you can encounter, because I'm maybe safe here and there's no guys, but if this guy hits me with dark portal, I'm going to be possibly in an unsafe position as a result. We're going to activate both of these. I'm actually going to try him with this first. So there's dark portal in effect. He basically teleported me there. I wasn't too worried about it because we're sort of in a enclosed area where there's less likely to be chance of bad things happening. But there's where it can be sort of dangerous. We're just gonna hit him with this and kill him. But watch out for these Elven Cultists if you decide to come in here, because they're going to be able to really injure you if you're not careful. There's also chests in here, so that's worth coming in here for if you're looking for it. Kill that guy. All right. You want to be very careful with these chests. I recommend clearing the entire level if you can before opening them. Just because these guys are very dangerous. If they become rares or even unique, they're just going to become monsters. Alright, we're sort of in a bad position here. We're going to do this, and this. Or not this. We're actually going to save that for a stun. We're going to use a Whirlwind first and hit these guys really hard. And this might sound really stupid, but we're going to throw a rock on ourselves. So I want to note that it is possible to damage yourself with AoEs. In this case, we're going to target ourselves and hit ourselves and these guys around us. Now note that we basically hit those guys along for ourselves, so that's why I sort of did that. Sometimes it's worth doing that sort of idea, but other times you shouldn't do that most of the time. It does work though, sometimes. Alright, so there's the first level of Dark Crypt done. Hooray! Huzzah! We didn't die. This is actually a fantastic way to sort of enter this dungeon. Alright, none of this really interests me, I don't think, so we'll sell all this stuff. Before we continue, I'll note that stair dancing is probably something you should really be, being told about at this point. So the Dark Crypt is such a small dungeon that, there's a chance that guys will all spawn around a staircase entering a dungeon. Like, say, we'll enter here and maybe it'll be a bunch of guys. Nope, we got lucky again, so there's only one guy here. But maybe we're just going to keep going until I maybe come to an instance where I can actually stair dance in here, because it's more unlikely I will be stair dancing. And guy there, we're just going to drop maybe this on him. Hits me with Bone Spear. Hit me with that. Maybe we'll drop this on him. Hey, look at that, there's Resurrections in here. That'll be fun. We're just going to drop that now. Heal up a little bit. So this guy managed to get our Bone Shield up. I'll note that the Bone Shield regenerates. so we have to sort of watch out for that. Hello, there's a rare. Alright, so we have a rare. This guy, he looks like a rogue. Okay, so we got ourselves a rogue here. It shouldn't be too dangerous. Sometimes you have to watch for, you know, what the rares are in here, but this guy's not going to be too dangerous, I don't think. We're going to drop a rock on both these guys. You are almost dead, I think, so we're just going to dual strike him to get rid of him. This guy doesn't have any sort of talents, I don't think, like the Elder Vampire, where, you know, I'm going to damage myself a whole lot if I hit him, so flurry away. The Rexlings are now rushing me like an idiot and putting all this damn, you know, acid on me. I'll note that I'm going to be taking a lot of acid damage if I go in here. Rexling's acid area effect hits Davian Letzlander, hits Davian Letzlander, hits Davian Letzlander, hit Davian Letzlander. Basically, they stack this much acid on top of me all at once. So, lots and lots of acid. I actually want to sort of take that into account and make sure I don't get killed. Alright, these guys have sort of piled up where the mage is right here. This is probably a good time to maybe shadow step this guy. And then we're just going to basically just mop through these guys as we sort of get around. We'll put this on now. Note, by the way, that these guys are immune to acid damage, so something like that from, you know, his rune there won't damage these guys because, you know, they're acid resistant. So they're dead. I think there was a case set there, but I don't see him anymore. Let's hit this guy to Temple Ruin. He's gone. And we'll just drop this here, I guess. I'll activate the shield now. Hit this guy. We'll drop this on him right there. And he's dead. Alright, so that wasn't too tough, but there was an instance there where it could have been tough. Not really. If there was an elven cultist there, it could have been tough, because he could have pulled me into the middle of the room, but... Alright, so we got not one, but two instances where there's stuff to dig out and look around through. Alright, we found another one of the elites in here, the Elven Elite Warrior. These guys are the elite melee type of guys in here, and they're probably worth, you know, making a mention of. They have something called Assault, along with their block talents that all the melee elves seem to have, and they also have all the solar and racials. Assault is a very dangerous talent. It's not really dangerous for me, because these guys are actually going to be a lot weaker to me because of the fact that I'm sort of stacking defense here. In most cases, defense is a really hard stat to stack, and unless you're able to get like high numbers, like 56 is actually a very decent number for defense. Unless you get a really high number, it's likely that something like Assault is going to rip you to shreds whenever you get hit by it. Wow, we actually saw both those shots. That's cool. Anyways, I'll let this guy walk to the door so that, as a result, I could basically make him block the line of sight of this guy. So, this guy here, how Assault will work, it basically, he can't, well, basically, you'll see this. He's basically missing me when he leaves me. So, that's the good thing about defense. As you get more defense, guys will miss you a lot. And then they aren't really as, you know, dangerous as a result. Okay, I actually got slowed here. We're going to hit Wild Infusion now. I now have access to 2 damage debuffing things, so we're going to try and rush this guy in his room. That's actually a very dangerous thing I sort of did there, by the way, just rush him in the room. Because, you know, I could have been going into black, or was going into Black Rider. Okay, I got hit by a whole lot there. Yep. Alright, so we actually got hit by this Kazet here. He actually put on a block talent, so here's the Counter Strike debuff again. And he stunned me, by the way. He's actually almost dead, so it's not really a big deal, but we'll just kill him, make sure he's dead. Alright, Elven Corruptor, and this guy over here. We're in a fairly enclosed room, so we're not in too bad position. We'll hit this guy a little bit. Okay, there's another mage over here, so we're going to rush him and get him out of the way. Hey, hello, there's another one. Kill this guy, Shadow Step this guy. There's the Elven Corruptor again. Hi-yo. We're going to rush you with Shadow Blade. I'll note, by the way, that Shadow Step is actually a really nice rush type of talent. Rush is a very generic type of talent that all classes can really get, most of the melee ones at least. But you'll notice that it has a 34 cooldown. I'll note that if I invest in this, it'll go down to cooldown. As you see, this going from talent level 1 to talent level 2 will reduce the cooldown by 6. But Shadow Step always has a cooldown of 5, pretty much. So it's a very, very fast cooldown, and it lets me rush these guys very well if I need to. You're dead. Okay, we got another room over here to sort of deal with, so we're going to do that, I guess. This is actually a good situation where I sort of want to use cunning to sort of get in here, because there's a good chance there's mages like these all over the place. Let's drop maybe this here. Alright, so this guy resisted his ruined rift, so this is, where spell save sort of comes in. It's not that great. It's not reliable sometimes when you have like guys with high enough spell save that they'll resist the effects. It's the main thing of why I'm saying ruined rift is, not that great. And there's actually a lot of mages in here, so this is actually not a good place to be right now. We're going to drop this here, drop that there. Maybe we'll drop the stone there. Maybe we'll drop this on this guy here. Kill that guy. And I'm actually playing it very dangerously with that guy right there, but whatever. Let's heal up a little bit. Ooh! They put Bleeding Edge on me, that kind of hurt. Alright, they're all dead and someone dropped the Randar for us. That'll be nice to look at. No, let's look at it now before we look at the chest. So this guy dropped the Randart stave. Sadly, it doesn't look like it's a very useful stave even for a magician, because it looks like it's more geared to someone who actually hits people with staves. That's not usually something spellcasters do. By the way, there's a Burglar's Alchemist lamp here. It has -7 light radius. Burglar's Alchemist lamps, or whatever, burglars or anything for these, what burglars do is that they reduce your light radius. This is actually good for stealth or invisibility builds. I want to note something really quick about my invisibility talent before I sort of, forget it. I'll note that it says something very special in here, that beware you should take off your light or you'll be still be easily spotted. With stealth and with invisibility type of talents, you're basically unable to use your like light radius to sort of see stuff, and you actually don't want to have a light radius because stuff can see you if you have one. As a result, you want to rely on stuff that actually reduces your light radius, and then you want to make use of, let's see here, heightened senses, for example, which will increase your line of sight through other means other than light radius. Or you can make use of such talents, or such equipment rather, that has infravision radius on it, which will also increase your ability to see farther. Infravision will couple with heightened, by the way, but if you use one or the other, then you can get your ability to see stuff while not having a light resource, which is what you're sort of aiming to do with stealth or invisibility, so the stuff can't see you. Anyhow, that's all done. We're going to go to our chest now and have a look at it. And yeah, there's probably another rushing over here, but a whole lot of rushing popped out. Alright, what we're going to do here, these guys are all going to drop their acid clouds, on top of me pretty much in a moment. We're going to drop this here, we're going to drop this here. We're just going to do a big whirlwind. And we actually killed a couple of these guys immediately. That's kind of cool. I'll drop a sweep on these guys. And there we go. Big, big acid cloud from these guys. I'm actually going to shadow step this guy here. And one of these guys still put an acid cloud on me. So, bastards. Alright, we're going to hit this guy with Flurry to get rid of him. I'm actually going to disengage these guys. And I'll note that these guys can rush, so they'll basically rush out toward me. And basically, that's one way to avoid the acid clouds from those guys if you really don't want to be in it. Sometimes you want to watch out for those acid clouds, by the way. If you get a whole lot of stacking on you, it can lead to a lot of damage, eventually, if you sit in it long enough. Alright, we have a dark cultist up here, so that's kind of dangerous, but he looks like he's in a sort of enclosed area, so the first thing we're going to do is just rush this guy and just flurry him to death. And there's a couple guys here. We're just going to do this. And they both went invisible or something. We're just going to drop this over here then. And maybe we're going to drop this, such a way. Then we're going to hit those guys there. We'll do that. Hey, what? There's an elven cultist here. So we're going to back off. I don't want that guy pulling me off into the hallway, so to speak here. We're just going to go here, and we're going to go here. Hey, there's an elven warrior popping up. So I'm getting flanked. I want to be sort of careful in this sort of situation because I got guys coming here and up there, and they're basically coming from all directions. But I don't think we're in too bad position to sort of deal with these guys. And hey, look at that, there's another guy over there. Do this here. You drop that. Hit you with this. I'll note that the range on this is also limited to like range of 4. That's another thing that I don't really like about it. Kill that guy. Hey, look at that. We see the Irving missiles that guy is firing at us. And there's this guy over here, so we'll go after him. And this guy pops out. He apparently tried to cast Irving missiles again on me, but whatever. You're dead. Step toward us. Wait there. There's another one of these guys. Gonna pop here. Gonna pop here. And we're gonna shadow step this guy here. And when you notice a couple more guys coming at, there's a reason I let him sort of come over a little bit more before I shadow stepped him. And he's still dark portaled, he's still dark portal if he's in melee view. He will likely do other stuff sometimes as well. Which is why I try and get melee with these guys real quick. And there's where dark portal can be very detrimental. So that guy actually dark portaled me into this sort of open area. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna shadow step him right back and kill him. That's where it can be really detrimental, being pulled into a dangerous area. Okay, there's an elven mage coming this way. We're gonna rest up here a little bit, or we can't have it rest, we're just gonna wait for him. Die. Okay, they're all dead. And there's still a guy coming to the south of us, apparently. And he used a ruined heat beam on us to light us on fire. And apparently I hit myself there or something. Whatever, just heal up. And there's apparently a fire imp down here, so we're gonna back off, back off, back off, rest up a little bit. We're just gonna wait for this guy to sort of appear on our view for a moment. And there he is. And another guy comes up. We're gonna step here maybe, let him get closer. And apparently I got frozen by something. So I guess he hit with ice or something there from his equipment. These guys are, they all have inventories, by the way. Sometimes they'll have neat little gear that, can cause pain and agony for you. Okay, this guy doesn't seem to have any buddies around him, so we're just going to rush him. I'll note that I basically walked around just like an explorer block, so to speak. Which made it a lot easier to sort of deal with him. Alright, we're going to open this chest. And Dark Cult is there. We're going to just put this on, We're going to do Whirlwind. And he still Dark Pulls me. Kill those guys. Kill you. Apparently kill everyone else. Well, this is actually kind of frustrating. I actually want to get surrounded so I can actually see a bad instance where the RNG basically says, screw you! But it's not happening yet, so... Oh well. Alright, Chankrow's Ladder. Alright, so... we didn't really get it, but I guess, at this point, this is actually good enough. We basically have 3 spellcasters here. This is, I guess, enough of a bad instance. It's not really the most terrible one you can find, but these 3 guys could all pose like sort of a difficulty of some sort on me. And I basically want to sort of stay on the stairs. And we're basically just going to sit here and stair camp for a little bit. You know what? This is actually a fairly good instance where I want to stair camp. So what do you know? We actually found a good instance. We're basically in an instance where these guys, there's quite a few guys around me, so I'm actually going to camp this staircase until I get really injured, so to speak. And hopefully I'll kill these guys, some of these guys. I think I killed this guy. I'm not sure. We'll do this. And we're just going to kill you. Alright, so let's say at this, for instance, I could probably kill this guy, but maybe I don't want to risk going after this guy. I'm kind of weak. I've got all my stuff and talents. Here's where you can sort of stair dance, and what that means is basically you go up the stairs, and you basically rest on this level until you're basically healed up, and then you go back down. Now, I'll know a couple things. When you go like up a staircase and back down into, this like sort of thing, this is basically going to reset the instance. So all the guys that remain here are going to have their HP restored to 100%. They're going to have their debuffs removed they put on them. They're basically going to be at 100%. So stair dancing, how it works, you basically want to kill a few guys, go up the stairs, go back down, kill a few more guys, and keep doing that process until you kill everyone that you need to. And there's still going to be guys around us, apparently. So I guess that was a good move. We're just going to sit here again. Yep, these guys are popping out constantly. Okay, so I guess that was actually a good instance where you could see stair dancing. So I basically went up and down until I basically cleared out everything I needed to. And this guy popped out. Wow, he didn't die. Interesting. Let's drop this on him. So yeah, he basically resisted the Rune of Rift. So basically these guys, they're all spellcasters, so they all have fairly decent spell saves. And this is what, eventually happen with the Rune of Rift. It is a nice, like, little rune while it works, but once it stops working, then it's not that nice. I noticed that guy sort of ran away there. And moving fusion to warrior, that's just, not good enough. Now, I actually sort of kept an item here called the Tentacled U totem here. I just want to show this off. So, I haven't really been using all that many totems or wands or whatever else. We're going to use this for this a little bit. This is actually an example of, you can get some neat tools basically from the totem slot, or charm slot, or what else we want to call it. The one I'm using right now is going to have this ability called Invoke Tentacles. And what it will basically do is invoke a tentacle, and I'll basically just sort of show you what that's all about just for a moment. So I'm going to basically invoke a tentacle. Here, watch. Remember this guy? So you basically have an option to invoke tentacles with like certain wands, and this is a case where you can use this to sort of invoke that unique that we fought in the Lake of Nur. This is his tentacle, so to speak. This is one of Gurga's tentacles that looks more vulnerable than the main body. So even though he's dead, we still have the ability to sort of summon his tentacles and make use of them. And I'll note that, by the way, that his guy was invisible, so this guy couldn't see him. So that's sort of where invisibility can be kind of useful for running away. Maybe we'll do another one. The nice thing about this, by the way, is that you basically are using summons. So these actually block his sort of way of going backwards. It can be very useful on certain spellcasters or guys that run away from you. And we got this guy over here. This guy's used a hex of some sort, so I'm actually kind of worried. Okay, this gets the Reaver. Nothing too dangerous. We're basically going to drop this here. And I'll note, by the way, that you just want to show this, but basically, as Girko the Tentacle falls, you notice that David and Lester seems to shudder in pain. So I actually get injured when I actually, lose these guys, much like, how the Unique loses them. It's sort of like a double-edged sword. They are very useful, but you have to be very careful at the same time with using them. So we're just going to take it back off since I've, demonstrated enough. I've demonstrated all the key points about the tentacle thing here. Really wanted to do. You know what? I really want to sort of show off some of these, so we're going to do that. I don't want to use the lightning rune, I don't think, here. But I will use the budding gale rune. So we're going to use this over a temporal rune, just to sort of, get rid of that crap that we don't really use. And more importantly, it gives us access to a really powerful ability, so to speak. Now, most of the offensive runes, most people don't think much of them, but they do have some benefits. And basically they've been reworked so they have some defensive benefits. So here's the budding gale rune. It basically does like this sort of like cone type of thing, where you basically hit stuff in like a sort of beam, like a free tile beam in front of you. And this defensive ability that it has, it basically encases guys in ice. So this is like an offensive defensive ability. You're basically doing a little bit of cold damage, and then you have a chance of basically freezing them. And I'll note this works even on guys that have high stun immunity, because, you're basically cutting through their stun immunity to try and fuse them. So it's actually kind of interesting. Let's open this. No, we'll wait, leave it until I clear the level. And we got Dark Pole there. We're just going to do this. Kill him. And apparently this guy didn't die. So we'll kill him. Before I forget about it, I want to look at this. So this is our C and Dud Vision Fusion. I haven't forgotten about Harkun Zun, by the way, from Daikara. If I can find, maybe something to try and verify if he's really not spawning or anything, that'd be great. And we just got an object that pops out from here, so nothing really great. Hey, look at that! Some guy has shadow combat. We already know what that means. Shadow Step, Shadow Combat. This guy is a Shadow Blade. Hello, fellow Shadow Blade. Now, this is actually a really bad position. We're in a position where I sort of have to worry about this dark portal from this guy, and I also have to worry about the guys that are in here. So this is a really good situation where I'll sort of show you this this running away with Phase Door. So I basically did that, and because I know that they're in there, I'm basically going to try and use a talent to try and hit them and get their attention. So that actually hit them there and drew them out. And basically, we're just going to wait for him to sort of advance on us a little bit, and then we'll try and kill him a little bit more. Okay, he came up. He's dead. And there's still guys over here that they'll sort of watch out for, like this guy, but... Ow. I want to be very careful of this guy, because he could Shadow Step me, but we're just going to try and offensively kill him. Actually, let's do this. So, Biting Gale will be frozen a little bit, do a little bit of cold damage. He's dead. He's dead. So, killed them. They're out of the way. Alright, at this point I've reached the end of the Shadow Crypt, or not the Shadow Crypt, the Dark Crypt. Once you get to instance 5, you're basically at the end of the instance. And I'll basically show you what that's all about. So, the first 4 levels there is very cramped and, you know, very static. You know, sometimes RNG will screw you up, sometimes it won't. Here we go to instance number 5. Now that I think about it, this might have been useful for instance number 5, but oh well. Man, I don't really need it. I don't really feel like putting it on just at the last moment. Yeah, I'm just looking at all this stuff. I don't see anything really, really useful. So, that was sold. Alright, so we've reached Dark Crypt 5, or we're going to after this level generates. Please generate. I'll note sometimes that you'll get into like this sort of like loop where stuff doesn't generate. I hope this generates, but you might see actually see something very terrible. You might have to see me actually play all the Dark Crypt. Won't that be fun? Alright, you know what we're going to do? I'm just basically going to just pause the recording here. I'm going to give this a moment to see if it possibly generates, but if it doesn't, you'll be seeing me at the start of this instance again, so that'll be fun. Good news! It loaded! Okay, so here's the lore-found sacrificial altar. You see a female human lying unconscious on a black altar, twisted sigils scored into her naked flesh. Around her are several figures in dark robes. As they notice you, one calls out, "Intruder! Protect the seed of Creovision!" Alright, so these guys are cultists, and what they're basically doing is some sort of like sacrificial ritual to summon a demon. And how they're basically going to do it is by sacrificing a woman. So, you know, very trivial stuff is, you know, what you can expect. So these black robed elves, they're basically acolytes. They look like corruptors, but in many ways they're just basically really weak stuff. They have like flame, mana frost. They're basically like spellcasters with, you know, soul rot thrown in and a couple of ruins. Alright, so what do you want to do with these guys? You want to Shadow Step one of these guys. You want to make use of Shadow Step a lot here. And I actually got hit by 2 talents here, so this is actually a bad thing. Yeah, we're basically going to be disarmed for a little bit for this fight, which is actually one of the worst things that could happen. What's going to happen at this point, I basically can't do anything to these guys except for a dirty fight here and stun this guy. We're going to have to use like the other stuff here to sort of thin him out a little bit, sadly. And with that, this guy, by the way, resists that knockdown, so he didn't knock back at all. This is probably a good time to use this, I guess. So we have a bat. And I'm still disarmed, so I basically used all my stuff, except for this. Put that on him. And we'll go here. I'll note, by the way, that he's basically locked down with like a pinning status, or did he resist that? Or maybe it just hasn't reached him yet. Alright, so I'll note that this ability, it's very slow, but when it hits them, it basically pins them, so they can't move anymore. Kind of useful if you want to keep something from running away. These guys will run away, by the way, if you give them a chance. It's actually kind of annoying. Okay, so he's basically using those talents, left and right. Basically use that on us. Rush this guy, he put up a shield, no biggie. We'll just basically tear through it with Flurry. And he still survived apparently, but whatever. You're dead. Heal up. Regenerate. And Melinda failed to load. Alright, so the woman seems to be free from her bonds. She stumbles onto her feet, her naked body still dripping in blood. Please get me out of here. Alright, so something sort of happened here. Okay, there we go. Here's Melinda. Usually there'll be like the sacrificial altar icon with Melinda on it, but once you basically free her, she basically becomes like this, you know, naked humanoid icon there with a bit blood dripping from her wounds and all that. Alright, we just leveled up, so I'm going to basically do that for now. We hit class points 2 and all that for, you know, the 5 level increment. I'm going to drop these points. Where am I going to drop these points? At this point, we've raised Blur Sight to 5 out of 5. We've raised Florio to 5 out of 5. I'm actually thinking about raising up Shadow Stepper here a little bit more, because that'll actually let us daze tires for a little bit longer, and this is actually just an awesome talent to make use of, so why not? Yeah, we'll do that. So we'll bump it up a little bit, and we'll keep bumping up Dexterity and Magic. I'm noting, by the way, that I'm bumping up Dexterity and Magic at this point. Keyly just for defense. This basically raises my defense based on my spell power, so Magic basically governs spell power. This raises up defense naturally, and it also raises up dual weapon defense with defense. So obviously, as this gets higher, this will get higher, and this will get higher, and you know, defense will just get higher. And the higher my defense gets, the better. Alright, so here is Melinda. Melinda is an escort. And she's a very unique escort in that she basically follows you around. She's not running toward like the exit where she's going to go to. She's going to follow you constantly. So anywhere I go, she will go. You can't give her orders like a normal escort, but you can do a few things to sort of keep her alive. One of the few tricks that people like to do is that they can go in here and let's basically just tunnel around. And the purpose for tunneling around like this is that you basically can come in here, and I guess we'll have to do this like this. You basically come in here and basically serve as loser in here. So she basically will get lost, so to speak, and not be able to find her way out. So I can step here. We're basically just going to do this. So if you do that, she'll be stuck in there. She won't be able to move at all. And this is sort of a tactic, you know, to serve to keep her alive. You basically, what I can do right now, I can romp around through the entirety of Dark Crypt 5 and kill everything. Literally. And I can just kill it all. And then I can just come back to her and pick her up for the reward. In many ways, I find it's kind of abusive. She probably should, you know, still follow you, even though she's a dumb escort and they're dumb and all that. But we're going to take her along. We're going to do this the hard way, just because I say so. You may not see the escort reward as a result, but whatever. Think of the, you know, of the reason for like doing this. It's more or less because I feel like it. Notice that she also gets stuck in like halls like this as well. Now, you want to be very careful if you bring her along like this. If you bring her along, stuff like that, AoEs will still be able to hit her. She does have a good conscious amount of HP, but it's nothing really, you know, notable. And I want to note, by the way, you want to basically rush these guys like mad. Basically just keep her alive by killing stuff around you is the thing. She's basically a neutral victim, by the way. She's of the victim faction. Yeah, I don't feel like, you know, carting around too much. Okay, there's a couple guys out here, so what are we going to do here? We're going to activate this, we're going to activate this, we're just going to Shadow Step this guy. He still did the Dark Portal, the stupid idiot, but whatever. Sweep. You're dead. You're dead. Okay, they're out of the way. I'll note, by the way, there's like an enclosed room here. Hopefully there's a door over here, or else we'll have to be digging through it. Nope, we'll be digging through it. Alright, let's go over here. That's actually perfect. She's hidden. Or she was hidden. Dead. I want to note something, by the way, that these guys aren't completely resistant to fire. So, something I can actually do, which is kind of cheeky, but basically we're going to burn this guy to death, the fire imp. I know it's another thing that doesn't make sense with fire in this game, but whatever. It works. Okay, there she is. Ow! By the way, be very careful when you're basically hitting the random number keys, because if you move around randomly, it's a very good chance you'll basically screw yourself over. Okay, we're just going to... By the way, because I raised up Shadow Step by 2 points there, I've actually increased the range. This is something I know about Rush and for Shadow Step. The more you increase the level, the more range you get. So I have a range of 9 now on this instead of like 5 or 6, whatever it was, which means I can go much farther to Shadow Step stuff. Very useful. Okay, we'll go here. Ow. You're all the way up there, you bastard. Alright, I want to go here. Good, she was far enough away that he didn't hit her. Basically hit her like that. And he's dead. Heal up a little bit more. Nope. Okay. Okay, guys here. There, okay. So basically the task of this like sort of escort thing is to basically bring her to this dungeon exit and basically escape. Now, I kind of wish that she just run out by herself, but sadly she doesn't do that. So this is where we're going to dig and do a sort of, you know, trick to sort of keep her alive. So we're just going to go in here. Basically just drag her around in here a little bit. Sure, why not? We'll just do that much. Heal up. Now we're just going to explore this dungeon in earnest. Hello, we basically ran into 2 warriors and a mage. Alright, we're just going to step here. Rest up a little bit, or not. Maybe we'll just wait for these guys to get approached, I guess. You can't rest at 0, you know, thing to rest up. You have to have something to rest up with. You have to have, like, lost HP or stamina to rest, or you have to have something cooldown to rest up. Can't just rest without, you know, something to rest up. Nice. That was perfect. Okay, that's all done. We'll rush this guy. And we got ourselves this guy over here. Just want to make a look at him. So this guy, he's got uppercut. This guy's a brawler. He's a brawler! And I just got blinded. Alright, so I'm just going to back off. And there's a guy coming up there. Not good to start me, that's a bastard. Let's drop this there. And maybe we'll try and burn these guys a little bit. Brawler type talents, he's basically fisting it. He's fisting the ice block. Use concussive punch there, that's actually an AoE of his. And what we want to do here is basically, you know what, we're going to drop this on him to pin him. And we'll basically drop this here. And he basically grappled us. He grappled us. He pinned us. He silenced and all that crap that, you know, it does. If you get grappled, by the way, one easily way of just getting out of it is just to sort of, you know, teleport. Hey, look at that. I'm free to grapple. I think it does have a chance of failing if you, you're grappled. It will basically cause Phaser to possibly fail. But, you know, no big deal. It didn't cause failure. Alright, that stunned him. That's cool. You put on weakened defense, by the way, which basically reduces my physical resistance. That's kind of sucky. We'll basically get rid of that. Cool. And we're basically going to dual strike him. Yeah, we're basically stunning this guy a whole lot. Now, I want to know something about that. He has something called combo in there. That's basically the same thing, like the same talent that I sort of had on my slave when I was basically doing like the hidden compound type thing. So combos are kind of deadly. If he was to hit me with like uppercut, he'd actually do a whole lot of like stunning power as a result. It doesn't usually translate into a whole lot for enemies because they're not smart enough to make use of it, but if he used something that would make use of that combo, it would hurt. Okay, that's done. And he's out of the way. There's another healing fusion we picked up, and there's another rare. This guy has poison, so he's some sort of rogue or shadow blade. Looks like he is an archer. Nope, sharp blaster. Or yeah, Archers can have traps. This guy's an archer class. Archers can also have poison. Okay, stun him. We'll flurry him. He's dead. Nothing too hard from that guy. I'll note, by the way, that Dark Crypt 5 is a whole lot easier than the first 4 instances because it's such a bigger instance and guys have more spaces to respawn around. That's kind of dangerous, though. Yoink! All dead. Okay, never mind. It wasn't really that dangerous. Ow. Ow! Alright, whatever. He basically hit me a whole lot there. It hurt. I sort of underestimated what this rare could possibly do. I didn't even look at this rare. It's actually a bulwark. No, it's got death blow. Or wait, does that make sense? Yeah, he's still a bulwark. He's got shield wall down here. Sometimes, by the way, that you'll see the these like serve guys have like bulwark type talents. So this guy's actually got death blow. That's actually a two-handed assault type of thing that you probably expect a berserker to have, but in this case, the bulwark also has it because, you know, they'll sometimes have locked talent trees that a player would never ever sort of go after, but, you know, they can make use of it sometimes. And we got ourselves a mage and this guy here. We're going to basically let these guys sort of get to us a little bit. I got dazed there. Let them get a little bit closer. Rush. You know what, we're basically going to shadow step this guy because I feel like it. Then we're going to go bink, boink, bink, boink, and bink. And just basically do that. That worked out pretty well, I think. Alright, so at this point, I've cleared out the dungeon. We're just going to collect Melinda here. I should probably tear it on this wall. Once you basically have her out of the place, you basically just go exit with her. Just basically exit the dungeon normally with her next to you and the tile, and then you get out with her. So in this case, we've got Melinda. She's saved. She's saved! Dissected creative vision done. Save Melinda from a terrible fate in the Crypt of Krill Shijin. So that's basically a Dark Crypt. There's a little bit more to learn about Melinda and all the other stuff that the quest sort of relating to it. But I think this episode's gone on long enough, so I'll say that's enough for this episode. And I hope you enjoyed. I'm actually thinking that next time we'll go back to maybe we'll go out to Last Hope Geargar. I think we're actually high enough at 25 to possibly pay a visit there initially, and actually have a look at, you know, what that's all about. Why I said it's dangerous, so to speak. Why you shouldn't go toward it. And we'll basically actually stay in Lost Hope for this point. Yep, okay, so that's it. Take care. See you guys in the next episode.